Hello, guys. So I'm back, and welcome to my weekly analysis. I'm doing it pretty early this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon. So guys, we are starting to look at gold. I'll start with gold, and just to recap, if we look at what happened to gold last week, um, we are actually we've been. Let me see. Last week we kind of rallied up. Was it last week or it was a week before? It was the week before. We pushed up and then we got into this range. So we've actually been in a ranging market, on a sideways ranging market since 2 weeks ago, 10th of November. And then we scaled the high 6 days later. That was the following week, which was technically last week. Actually, this was 2 weeks ago. 10th of November was about 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks ago. And then on the 16th, which was last week, Tuesday, we actually took out the high of the previous week. So, and then what we see from there is gold began to retrace. Now, it's been a pretty interesting week for gold. For me, gold has really been nice to me this last 1.5 weeks. The previous week, though, I think I took an L somewhere, but then this past week, we kind of did pretty well. And then what we see is, like, gold, ranged lower, okay, began to flow lower. And then we see a bit of accumulation happening here. We got to a demand zone of sorts, which was left untested around the 17th. And then later on, we came and took out that demand zone a couple of days later on the 19th, about 2 days later. But all in all, after it took out the high of the previous week, gold began to trend lower. We did see a nice rally pushing to the upside, and then we now began to taper out, and we saw a lot of liquidity grabs happening on the way. And then on Friday, we just literally, was it on Friday? Yes, we literally just tanked a couple of pips. We took out a lot of the levels, liquidity in these zones, and then kind of retested, and this is where we are at now. Okay, this is on the 5 minute. What I can say is, this was the low of Friday, and I would not be surprised if gold continued to push lower. If I go back on the weekly time frame, though, what we are seeing is, we see, what we are seeing is gold is just, the flow of orders in the market is, there are a lot of sell orders in the market. It's just downside. That's what it's been since August. Okay. So I'm still seeing that continuing. Okay, fine. We pushed up last week and the week before. We were very bullish and we took out liquidity upside. And then last week now we began to, after taking out the high of the previous week, as you can see, we took out this high, okay, last week but one, we took out the previous week. After we took that week's high out, we started scaling lower. So I'm still looking and anticipating that we are going to actually open the market lower, okay? Unless something different happens. That's my take. And we are, and again, after taking out the liquidity up here, I just feel like gold is now just preparing, and you may see some, lower, movement, maybe a retest and maybe a continuation to just take out. There's a lot of sell side liquidity downside here. We have untested demand zones at the same time. So, even if I look at the daily, let me see how the daily is looking. And don't worry about these lines, guys. This was me paper trading a while ago, and yeah, these are just signs of past trades that I attempted to take. And yeah, so yeah, gold, and we can see here like gold really, is literally after this high, we pushed up, took out previous high, then we just, there was this bullish candle, then we closed bearish, we then tried to push up, and then we now started dropping. This is a classic case to just show us that possibly I feel institutional money could be getting into the market again. Just looking like Bitcoin, we looked at Bitcoin in a previous video. Check that out on my YouTube. And yeah, this is where we're at. So I feel like there's room to really, really just possibly, get to the 1810, 1820 level. We've closed really bearish. So I am bearish, guys, on gold. So let's look at something else. Let me look at Eurocard. Let's see how Eurocard is playing. Eurocard has been bearish. I mean, this currency, I wouldn't lie, because we have been really near a demand zone of March 2017. Eurocard has really been confusing me. And we see that, I've been thinking, okay, it's going to push up, maybe retest this zone, but it keeps dropping lower and lower. So I'm thinking, these areas that I marked out last week, for me, they're still very, very viable. We didn't quite, let me just delete this. We did not quite retest that zone. And I feel like we need to take out this 50% level. I think this is on the lower time frame, maybe the 5 minutes. Yeah. So when you look at it from the 5-minute perspective, we can see this is quite a couple of pips. And I mean, guys, look at this, look at this. We 18th November last week, we took our previous highs and we started pushing lower. The order flow began to just scale lower and lower and lower, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We took out previous highs here and then continued down. So I think that's what's happening. We have gotten to a demand zone here. So we may see maybe some rejection on the way up, but I'm still like, we are bearish on Eurocard. This is about 119 pips. I'm thinking like we should at least take that out and maybe even scale lower. But immediate on the short term, definitely I'll be looking at sells, even just the way these candles stick on the 5-minute and even on the daily and the higher time frames closed very bearish, very, very bearish. So that's my take, guys. That's what I'm looking at here. We've retested, yeah, so we are bearish. Okay, so let me look at Euro AUD. Euro AUD. So Euro AUD, so what happened here? Again, Euro AUD has been giving me the same vibes that Eurocard has been giving me. And we did retest previous demand zones on the 4-hour. Let me just go on the weekly first. And we see a very major rejection on the weekly time frame. And but guys, again, a lot of sell side liquidity. So we took out this previous November, actually this is December 2018 low. We took this out, and also the so the 2018 lows, we took them out. We can see, then we pushed up, and we then began to form a bearish structure. So the candlesticks here are just showing bearish structure. The order flows, the flow of orders is downside. Yes, we rejected on the weekly, and that's because we are in a very strong demand zone. Every time price has come to this zone here, if I just would mark this area out, it keeps rejecting. So we're in a very, very strong demand zone, which is notable, and maybe that's why we are seeing such major rejection here. But unless we really give a strong attempt upside, I'm just thinking that we might just break through. Okay, so kind of 50-50 on this. But yeah, still kind of looking bearish. Still looking bearish. We have a lot of, untested liquidity. I mean, demand zones below, and yeah, we may just scale lower. Okay, but we know that we're at a very, very what we'd call a support zone. So this could just be a rejection, and ultimately we could just see price beginning to push up. Okay, that's also a possibility. But for now, I'm bearish. Okay, so we'll see how market opens. My bias may change when I see what happens. But right now, even if we push up, we may just push up to 1.59345. Okay, and then push, now continue to push lower. So we may try to keep retesting this zone. We may continue trying to retest this zone. And it will take a lot of buyers to just completely reject this break to the downside. So yes, so potential attempt bullish is 1.59. There's a 1.5, 1.59345. Okay. If we don't make it that way, then we'll just break lower. Now, let me look at Euro JPY, Euro Yen. Similarly looking bearish, but let me clear my chart. So what we see is in May, we took out October 8, 2018 highs, and then we started pushing lower. We retested the supply zone up here, and then we just have been on a consistent downtrend. Okay. We are, it's very possible that we'll reject because we are at a demand zone, and we've really been consistently bullish. So this could just have been a minor retest and a continuation. So I'll start looking and thinking about sells if we break down below 128.074. And what I would like to see is for us to break down, retest, and then continue. Because we could just, because there's liquidity here, guys, we'll probably, I'm seeing institutional money at play, and we'll just probably see a move to take out all this liquidity and then maybe push back up. So we have potential demand levels at 124.324, which is what, about 400 pips away. Okay, potentially. So there's a lot that you can take out there. Let me look at the daily on a shorter. So like I said, demand zone. So that's why we are seeing on the daily there's a bit of rejection. So we may reject, go to the 129,100, and then continue to the downside. Right now I'm bearish. Okay, I'm still hoping, maybe, I'm hoping that we'll break through. If we don't, then we can take this as a retest, really, and continuation. But at some point, this demand zone, I believe, will be taken out. I believe so. So bearish on Euro JPY. Let me look at the 8 hour. Okay, let me look at the 4 hour. Yeah, so we've kind of retested a zone. Yeah, so guys, a lot of liquidity, bearish on Euro JPY. Now, let me look at GBP pairs now. So I'll look at GBP USD and also try and speed this up a bit. So what we are seeing on GBP USD end of things is that we are also, guys, I don't know, the market is looking very interesting generally. Okay, so we've been in this range, since, since 2016. So it's like this is the trading range for GU, and we've kind of respected our demand and supply zones, and this is a retest, and we look like we want to retest the 1.30705 price level. Okay, which is a demand zone that is untested. That's about 306 pips away. Now, if that doesn't happen, that's what it's looking like, guys. Right now, The market right now is interesting. So unless I see something else on the lower time frame, we took out this low. So, but the thing is, the flow of orders is down. In terms of candlestick structure, we are bearish because we keep on breaking levels lower and lower. So when I say, like for example, we broke structure here again, and I keep on telling guys, for me, that's how I trade. I look at structure breaks. We broke structure break there. We've broken another structure break there. So, and what keeps happening is as we keep on scaling lower highs and everything and breaking structure lower, we kind of retest previous levels of liquidity, buy side liquidity, and then we drop. And then we retest previous levels of buy side liquidity, taking out previous highs, and then we drop. So I'm just thinking that's what's happening right now. We are mitigating previous levels of supply as we continue to shift lower. Now, we did take out this low, so you might see this week possibility of trending higher, maybe pushing up all the way to 1.37263 before we see the drop down. But either way, GU has been trending lower, okay, since June of this year. And so we may see a retest of 1.3, like I said, 72815, or even 38,000, 1.38,000, or we'll just continue going lower and attempt to retest lower levels of demand, okay, that are still untested, like the 1.277 area. We have actually that's the major area that is still untested. So yeah, so either way, guys, potential to push up, retest previous supply zone, and then drop, or just start dropping, or continue rather after this retest, continue lower. So GBP, so the markets are looking bearish. I don't know, we may see something else. When it comes to GJ though, we may see a continuation to the upside. GJ is actually looking more bullish than GU, okay, right now. We are looking bullish. So I'm just thinking, even if we push lower, we'll probably push lower to about 152, 118, which is, let's see, about 150, 140 pips away. And then we'll continue upside. I'm bullish on GJ right now. And yeah, I'm bullish on GJ as far as I'm concerned. This push up, there's this really strong move up, that was caused by this demand zone here. So I feel like we may retest that demand zone and then continue to push up. That's what I'm looking at right now. And what we're trying to do is to take out these highs, possibly before we continue downside. So on the short term, we are likely to push up, okay? So that's my take. Near short term push down, this is how many pips? 140, about 100 pips. This is on the daily, so possibly there'll be lower levels that we can take this lower. So 140 pips there, and then maybe push up, but there's rejection here already. We are seeing push up and then continue down. Okay, so that's GJ. Hopefully I'm making sense. So that's GBP pairs. So I want to go to, let me look at AUD USD. Wow, guys, the markets are really looking bearish, and it's possible that institutional traders are trying to push the price lower so that they can buy it as low as they can. So right now we are at a demand zone. I expect some rejection at this demand zone and maybe continuation up. That's what I'm really looking at when it comes to AU, because we are actually at a demand zone. So I'm seeing like this move here was just to mitigate this previous level of demand and then push up. So that's AU. Now, if I look at US30 lastly, okay, so I'll just look at US30 and I finish. Same drill. Okay, we are looking to retest previous demand zone as we continue up. I mean, US30 has been bullish for sure, for sure, for sure. We created an all-time high in beginning of this month that has not been seen before, and now we are, you know, scaling lower highs. Okay, so I'm just like, yo, let me look at the 8 hour. Let me see closer, take a closer look. Yeah, we have formed, there's liquidity, sell side, buy side liquidity here and much lower, and there's a lot of liquidity and demand zones that are tested at the 34.435 level. So I'm just like, yo, we may just push lower. That's quite some distance. But on the short term, like I said, right now, we may be targeting 35 to 87 on the short term, on the near term, on the near term, you know, but we took out the, you know, liquidity here. We broke structure. So we may just, you know, try and push up a bit, okay? May push up a bit, maybe even take out that high before we continue lower. So I'm kind of 50-50. I'm definitely bullish long term on US30, but the immediate move on market open, we may see a push to the upside first before we see any continuation lower. But all I can see is there are structure breaks, okay? Structure break there, structure break here. So structure break somewhere in between there. I'm sure on a lower time frame we'll be able to see more structure breaks. And you know, so if we see a breakthrough, I'd like to see a retest and a continuation. So right now, because we are at a demand kind of maybe zone, we may actually push lower and then push up. Okay, so that's the scenario. Either we'll push like this and then continue up because we are bullish. You know, I'm bullish on this asset, or we'll just push up, push lower, then continue to the upside. You know, push lower, take out liquidity and continue to the upside because there's some sell side liquidity below here. Okay. So but for now, I think and I'm more probable when I'm looking at it right now on the 8 hour is to push up, possibly even push up, take out those highs, and then, you know, do something like that. So those are the two scenarios. Either way, bullish long term. Okay, so guys, that's it for this afternoon. The market's open in a couple of hours. Looking forward to, you know, just hearing back from you guys. If you're getting any value from my weekly analysis, please let me know. Please join our Discord. Let's interact. Let's keep on supporting each other. And yes, see you soon. Once again, like, subscribe, and destroy that notification bell, please, guys. Let's do this. Let's keep telling YouTube that I'm giving you guys value. And yes, see you soon. Happy trading week ahead, guys. Bye.